What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about Ohio State picking up commitment number 13. This one is 5'11", 177-pound Kaleb Brown coming out of St. Rita's in Chicago, Illinois. And the reason that this is a big deal is not just because he's a 4-star recruit and a top 70, I think at number 63 in the 247 composite. Perhaps that is the 247, top 247. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep, I was right. Composite, number 6 overall wide receiver. But because this was actually a battle, right? This is Ohio State versus Michigan, the way that we always like it to go down. And he ends up becoming the first commitment of the month of June for what I expect to be a tremendously big June for Ohio State. And in becoming number 13, it's not just that he's lucky number 13. Congratulations to him. It is also that with this commitment, with them being just 2 points behind Georgia for the number 1 spot, Ohio State vaults back into, like Simone Biles, number 1 in the 2022 recruiting rankings. And let's go through it here in just a minute, but also let's talk about what just this means. Like, this is tremendous because A, you want to get on and popping in June, but also B, this is the biggest June that we have seen in recruiting in years, for all the reasons that I think you know, but not the least of which is we've just come out of a dead period. Like, it's literally 16 months since anybody could take any kind of a visit. And not only are we getting visits, we're getting camps, right? It's all coming together at one time. And my favorite Cameron Crowe movie that is not named Jerry Maguire, It's All Happening. That is actually my favorite Cameron Crowe movie. It's Jerry Maguire. Though Almost Famous is not actually number 2. It's actually Elizabethtown because I love that jam. Like, it's not just that I get Orlando Bloom with the knife doing like this on the bike because his shoe sucks, but it's also because Kirsten Dunst is quietly awesome in there. And then you get Ruckus. You know, like, you get for real Louisville. You get the Louisville that I am so much, here for in Elizabethtown. Now, Kaleb Brown, also with a K, joins what I think is going to be another outstanding Ohio State recruiting class, and not just for the reasons that you know, but because he becomes the 3rd top 150 wide receiver to commit, along with 2 tight ends that you really love. And oh yeah, that's Quinn Ewers leading this class, the number 1 player in the country, the number 1 quarterback in the country, and the highest rated commit ever to Ohio State. I've said this before, you'll hear me say this again. There have only been 6 players in the rankings era who have received a 1.000 rating from the 247 Sports composite, right? Those dudes include Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, he's pretty good. Vince Young. Yeah, he's pretty good. Rashawn Gary. Yeah, he too is pretty good. Quinn Ewers. Yeah, he's pretty good. Probably seen the video about him circulating on the interwebs over the weekend where my man is out here throwing sidearm darts. Like, one of the things that I'm actually very interested in is the proliferation of the dude throwing the 7-yard bomb on tape, right? Arch Manning did this after a post-pump flip, and I lost my mind watching it because it was one of the coolest things after, going through his camp at Clemson, picking up the Clemson offer. But we saw Zach Wilson do it at altitude. We saw Justin Fields do it at, the shoe. When we've seen Spencer Rattler do it like 3 years ago, like, you're going to see more of this because these dudes are just coming out with these absolute cannons. And you need somebody that you cannot overthrow. And that's what Ohio State is doing with Brian Hartline, is recruiting, quietly becoming one of not just the best wide receiver coaches in all of college football, but one of the best recruiters, full stop, in college football and what they're able to do. And I'm taking a look at this class, man, and it's just filthy. I mean, you got Caleb Burton up top, and he's already said, I'm not going anywhere. This is my home. And that's got to make you feel good if you're an Ohio State fan, because that's a top what? Top 35 player? Yeah. Number 4 at his position overall, 5-star recruit. But also, you got Keon Graves in here. But in getting Kaleb Brown, you're getting a speedster. You're getting a quietly, really amazing dude with the ball after the catch. Matter of fact, I think the comp for him is Christian Kirk. He's got 10.84 100-meter speed. It also means that somebody in the Chicago area not only did not go to Michigan, didn't go to Notre Dame, right? Which is where many people tell me that the Subway alumni actually live. They watched that team, didn't go to Northwestern. I don't know why you would go to Illinois, but, maybe Brett Bielema is up to something. Maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. You're also getting a dude that played tailback in high school. As a matter of fact, Alan Treyu at 247 with this analysis. Not just played tailback in high school, but projects as a slot receiver and sometimes an outside receiver in college. Again, Christian Kirk. Has done that in 7-on-7 and shown an excellent feel for getting open, hands, good twitch, good straight line speed, maybe not quite elite in that area, but can break away and make big plays in the open field. Quickness, short area burst allow him to create separation and show strength after the catch as well. Does not have the catch radius of top receivers. 5'11", 177. We get it. Competitive player who can be used in a variety of ways. That versatility helps project him as a future NFL draft pick. I see a Paris Campbell. I see a Terry McLaurin. That fits, right? But the thing about those dudes in particular is I'm thinking of like KJ Hill, Paris Campbell, Terry McLaurin. You're not really running the same sort of system that you were before. And one of the things that I want to see in Ohio State's offense going forward is just how you use these wide receivers. Not that you need to use them more or less, but just how you deploy them, because you got the number one wide receiver in the 2020 class, Julian Fleming, the number one wide receiver in the 2021 class, Emeka Egbuka, and then you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, along with Marvin Harrison Jr., right? You got G. Scott moving over to tight end, we think. And on the outside, you return Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, who both get drafted in the first round. All while you have, like, Secretariat, like War Emblem, like an actual just absolute monster in the backfield, and Travion Henderson. That's before we start talking about Evan Pryor, Master Teague, and on it goes. You have weapons, right? I've made this analogy once. I will make this analogy again. Matter of fact, I made this analogy when talking to Joel Klatt on the number one ranked show. Ohio State is Team Mercedes, okay? Ryan Day is Toto. You need to make sure that you put Lewis Hamilton in the seat. That's all you got to do, okay? If you put Lewis Hamilton in the seat, you ought to make it to the college football playoff. You ought to be playing for championships once again. You just got to make the right decision here. And I get why many of you have already decided that person needs to be C.J. Stroud. We're not going to get that definitively or know for real until August. Just what it's going to be. And a lot of that is just trying to keep those dudes on campus after they figure out that perhaps it is C.J. Stroud. Kyle McCord, I don't think is really the challenge here. It's going to be Jack Miller. If you're Jack Miller, you want to play. And if you don't think you got an opportunity to play, that's a good reason to go into the portal. Which brings me back to this conversation I want to have inside of this commitment analysis of one Kaleb Brown. 4,700 kids in the portal. And Joel Klatt said he thought the portal was a disaster. I disagree. I think the portal is exactly what it needs to be. When the kids turn 18, nobody bats an eye when they want to go enlist, right? When they want to go fight wars. Full stop. Don't, right? Nobody bats an eye when they want to go vote. But apparently, if they want to exercise the right of any other regular student to transfer, hey, we want to put a governor on when they can do that. Why? You can declare that you want to transfer anytime you want. And school's going to start and end when school's going to start and end. Well, it's going to mess up the fabric of college football if kids can declare that they transfer in the middle of the season. First of all, I don't expect that to be normal, but let's say that it is. You have a kid that says, I want to transfer from Clemson because Trevor Lawrence is the starting quarterback. What happens? He sits out the rest of the year. He doesn't participate in team activities. He sacrifices a ton, including a national championship ring, so he can transfer to Missouri. That is his choice and his decision, and you ain't nobody's daddy. Matter of fact, when a kid turns 18, his daddy ain't even his daddy anymore. He can just do what he wants to do. Parents or no parents, right? So I think about it in that way, and we seem to live in this world where many of y'all think that some parents have more sway over their kids than others. Okay, cool. I'm going to tell you this. If you come from nothing and you just happy to be here and you've been doing this on your own like many of my kids have been, right? You got a parent that's in your corner saying, baby, I need you to do what you need to do. That's what you have, right? You have a parent that knows how much you sacrificed to get here, knows what's on the line, knows what it means for you to go into the transfer portal, and for you to treat them as if they're stupid or idiots for doing this. I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to pretend that if you put more governors, more laws in place, bylaws in place, saying what a kid and can't do, that there's not going to be tampering. Like y'all can believe in the bag man, but y'all can't believe in this? Come on, man. And I'll add one more to this. One of the reasons that I stand for the kiddos is because college football is full of troglodytes who do not want to see, A, the kids make any money, or B, the kids make decisions for themselves or have any leverage in this, what is a tremendously one-sided relationship. Okay? We watch the games for the kids, not for the players, or excuse me, not for the coaches, but for the players. Okay? There is no game without them. And if they want to exercise more agency, I'm all for it. Now, 4,700 kids going into the portal does not mean that 4,700 kids are going to exit. But it also doesn't mean that just because you enroll in school that you are going to graduate. Like, there's no guarantee either way. And a college degree ain't all it's cracked up to be. I got 2 of them. Neither one of them helped me do my job. All right? A college degree is only as good as the job you can get with it. And for many of these kids, their dream is to play professional football. And nowhere in the NFL's early draft entry or draft entry does it say you got to have a college degree to play the game. Okay? Now, the consequences of what happens after the fact, we'll wait and see. Right? But you don't get to tell somebody what they're going to do. That's my point here. You don't need to police them. You don't need to be nobody's daddy. You need to scratch it, get glad, and be on board with these kiddos taking life into their hands and learning from those mistakes that they are bound to make just like you did. Doses.